On March 4th, 1901, the streets of Washington, D.C. were absolutely packed. This wasn't just a parade, it was a celebration for our nation entering a new century. And the hero of the day was President William McKinley. Today, we are doing something truly special. We've unearthed and will be narrating 3 rare films from the archives that captures this monumental event. From the sheer size of the crowd to the political giants marching in the parade, you are about to see American history in a way you never thought possible. Get ready to step back in time. On November 6, 1900, incumbent President William McKinley defeats his challenger, William Jennings Bryan, for a second time, with Theodore Roosevelt as his running mate. When William McKinley was inaugurated for his second term in 1901, the country was feeling great. The Spanish-American War was over, and America was becoming a world power. This inauguration was a big deal, a symbol of the nation's success and confidence. The day itself was beautiful. The weather was mild, perfect for the massive crowds that had gathered. Experts believe that over 200,000 people packed into the city to celebrate. It was a sea of people, a buzzing energy that these films, though silent, seemed to capture perfectly. Our first rare film shows the parade arriving at the Capitol. The streets are completely lined with people. Everyone excited to see the president. You can see the grand scale of the event with every window, balcony, and rooftop packed with spectators. Now, this is a fun side note. President William McKinley's face appears on the $500 bill, which is no longer in circulation. The $500 bill dates back to 1918 when Chief Justice John Marshall's face initially appeared on the denomination. I have to stop for a moment to examine the back of the 1918 bill. It has a very interesting engraving. The back of the bill, also known as the Blue Seal Note, features a depiction of Hernando de Soto discovering the Mississippi River in 1541. The engraving was based on a painting that was commissioned by Congress for the rotunda of the Capitol. During the printing of the McKinley Notes, the 1918 back was removed. The $500 bill was discontinued in 1969 for lack of use. Let's get back to the parade. These films were produced by the Edison Company. Edison released the footage less than 2 weeks later. The note states that the cameras were within 20 feet of the president's carriage when it passed, giving the general public an intimate view of a United States president. The crew captured these images on several campers placed on rudimentary tripods that made it difficult to pan or tilt while filming. Press accounts describe the films receiving great applause and causing pandemonium during its screening. The parade for McKinley's second inauguration was one of the largest and most grand of its time. It was a show of national unity and military power. The procession itself was huge, with over 30,000 people taking part. This wasn't just a march, it was a carefully planned spectacle that lasted for hours. Leading the way were all the high-ranking officials you would expect. Members of the Senate and House and important leaders from the Army and Navy were in attendance. But there were also unique groups that showed the changing face of America. You can see various military units, from foot soldiers to men on horseback. Fun fact, the vice president who would serve with McKinley, Theodore Roosevelt, was also in the parade, riding in his own carriage. I was unable to find a picture of him during the parade, but he was there. Little did anyone know that within a few months, he would be leading the country and finishing McKinley's term. Even though I could not find any pictures of Theodore Roosevelt in the parade, I did find a caption indicating that the man in the second carriage behind McKinley could possibly be Theodore Roosevelt. The next clip is where the oath of office begins. Unfortunately, it is very short and jumps right into McKinley's speech. Chief Justice Melville W. Fuller administers the oath of office. The Edison Film Company noted, "We regret that we were unable to secure a longer film than listed above, but the rain began falling in torrents with almost the first words of the president's speech, which of course prohibited are taking a greater length of film, but notwithstanding the fact that it began sprinkling before the president took the oath of office. The 50 feet of film, which we did secure, is good." I wanted to stop for a moment to talk about the seal below McKinley taking oath. This is the Great Seal of the United States. The seal features a configuration of 13 stars arranged in a hexagram, which is similar to the Star of David. This design has been present on the seal since its adoption in 1782. There are several myths about these stars. Some have associated this pattern with a connection to Haym Salomon and his contribution to the American Revolution, but there is no historical evidence to support that claim. Solomon was an important financier of the American Revolution. The myth states he had asked George Washington for the Star of David configuration. Washington, however, had no input into the design of the Great Seal. The fact is, the 13 stars on the seal represents the original 13 colonies. Presently, the presidential seal is seen during the oath of office. The main difference between the two is the Great Seal is used to authenticate official documents of the United States government and to represent the United States government, while the presidential seal is specifically for the president's personal correspondence to Congress and as a symbol of the presidency. McKinley continued to deliver his speech. Then he made his way to the White House. Later, there was a grand inaugural ball. The ball was a lavish affair taking place in the Pension Building, which is now the National Building Museum. They still hold great events in this building. Sadly, this great celebration would be one of the last major public events for William McKinley. Just 6 months later, while attending the Pan American Exposition in Buffalo, New York, he was assassinated. The assassination of McKinley would usher in the presidency of Theodore Roosevelt and a new, more progressive era for America. Looking at these rare films, it's hard not to feel a sense of both joy and sadness. They show a moment of pure triumph for a president and a nation, a moment forever frozen in time, just before a tragic turn of events. These films are not just history, they are a window into the world that was about to change forever. Make sure to check out all our videos on William McKinley, including rare footage of his funeral. Thank you for joining us today. We invite you to watch all our videos from famous funerals to diving into the archives to find generations of history.